The hidden psychology of people who never. What makes some people keep going when everything tells them to stop? When does one person face failure and walk away while another fails again and again? The difference is not always talent, it is not always intelligence, and it is certainly not luck. There is a hidden psychology behind people who never give up. They do not necessarily feel stronger than everyone else. They feel fear, they experience doubt, they become exhausted, they sometimes lose hope. But something inside their mind work differently. They have learned how to continue even when motivation disappear. And once understand their psychology, you begin to say that a personality trained. It is a mental system that can be trained. The first hidden train of people who never give up is the state they do not identity. Most people experience failure and immediately commit into why they are. I failed, so I am fail. I could not do it, so I am not capable. Alas, so maybe I was never meant to win. But resistant people separate the event for their identity. They think differently. I failed at this. Not I am a failure. The small difference creates an ROM's psychology power. When failure becomes an identity, the brain wants to accept it. But when failure becomes information, the brain starts analyzing it. What went wrong? What can I change? What did I learn? What should I try next? The person who never gives up in often not asking why is this happening to me. They are asking what is the trying to teach me. The mindset transfers pain into data and data can be used. The second psychology secret is that understand the difference between motivation and commitment. Motivation is emotional, it comes and goes. One morning you may feel unstoppable, the next morning you may not even want to get out of bed. If your progress depends entirely on motivation, your progress will always be unstable. People who keep going have learned something important. You do not need to feel like doing something to do it. They should system around commitment. They show up when they are excited. They show up when they are tired. They show up when nobody is watching. This does not when they work and maximum intensity every day. Sometimes they move fast, sometimes they move slowly, sometimes they only victory is simply not quitting, but the maintain the connection between themselves and the goal. The understand that consistency is not about doing everything perfectly. It is about refusing to disappear from your own journey. The third hidden trait is their relationship with time. Most people want immediate evidence that their effort is working. The work for of you fake. Nothing happens. They become frustrated. They quit. But persistent people understand that meaningful results often have a delayed appearance. A seed does not become a tree overnight. A skill does not become mature in a few days. A new life does not appear immediately after making a decision. The brain often struggles with delayed reward because humanity naturally depends to immediately feedback. But people who never give up develop repetiency with invisible progress. They understand that something can be changing even they cannot see it yet. Every work may not transform the body. Every book may not transform the mind. You may not become successful. Every attempt may not produce a result, but each attempt is building something when the surface experience, skill, confidence, awareness, relations. The fourth secret is the present people different but winning meanings. For me, people winning meanings is building the business, become successful, reaching the destination. But for someone who refuses to quit, winning can mean something much more. Learning one more lesson, improving 1%, getting back after a bad day. This is psychology powerful because it creates frequent evidence of progress. Instead of waiting months of years to feel successful, they collect small victories every day, and those small victories reinforce their identity. I am someone who keeps going. The more they act like that person, the stronger that identity becomes. The psychology secret is the that accept discomfort. Most people believe discomfort is a single two-step. Present people see discomfort differently. They understand that discomfort is often part of growth. Learning something difficult feels uncomfortable. Changing old habits feel uncomfortable. Taking risk feels uncomfortable. Being rejected feels uncomfortable. Starting again after failure feels uncomfortable. But discomfort does not automatically mean something is wrong. Something it means something is changing. The person who never gives up does not necessarily love pain. The simplest of treating every uncomfortable feeling as an emergency. They learn to sit with uncertainty. They learn to experience fear without obeying it. They learn it to continue while their mind is telling them to retreat. This is one of the greatest forms of psychology strength, not the absence of fear, but the ability to move while fear is present. There is another powerful trend hidden inside present people. They know how to adjust. Never giving up does not meaning repeating the same mistake forever. It means refusing to give up on this change while being will is changing the routine. If we not really fail, they try something. If the plan is broken, they rebuild it. If the environment changes, they adapt. This is why resilience is closely connected to flexibility. A rigid person can break, a flexible person can bend, adapt, and continue. The most resilient people are not absorbed with protecting their original plan, they are obsessed with finding a way forward. And perhaps the deserved secret of all the people who they believe their current situation is temporary. They may be struggling today. They may be behind today. They may have failed today. But they do not assume that today is the final chapter. They understand that the present is only one moment in a much longer story. The belief creates psychological space. It allows them to survive difficult seasons without believing that those seasons will last forever. Because sometimes the most dangerous thought is not failure, it is the belief that another willing to change. People who never give up protect themselves from the thought they remind themselves that circumstances change, skills improve, opportunities appear, people grow, and life can move in direction they cannot yet imagine. So, what can we learn from people who never give up. Persistence is not about being fearless. It is not about being motivated every morning. It is not about winning every battle. It is about developing a mind that can recover, a mind that can learn, a mind that can adapt, a mind that can continue. The next time you fail, do not immediately ask yourself, should I quit? Ask a better question: when can I change? The next time you feel unmotivated, do not ask, do I feel like continuing? Ask, what is the smallest step I can take today? And one progress feels invisible. Remember this. The because of visible result does not always mean the absence of progress. Sometimes the most important transformation is happening where body can see it inside your mind, inside your habit, inside your identity, because eventually there comes a moment when resistance stop being something you do and because someone you are. You because the person who gets back up, the person who learns from failure, the person who adapts, the person who keeps moving. And perhaps that is the hidden psychology of people who never give up. They do not believe they will never fail. They simply refuse to let failure decide how their story ends. Because the people who change their lives are not always the strongest. Sometimes they are simply the one who stayed in the game long enough of their strength to appear.